you could call Colin Robbins Betty Crocker, because I reckon he's done some serious baking inside those sheds at half-time. I reckon he's given them an absolute earful, and hopefully they respond. There's a little opening down the right-hand side now, and a throw-in.
We saw them respond for about 10 minutes last week against Zebras, and then after that, they fell away pretty quickly.
They really are the Jekyll and Hyde of the competition, Kingborough Lions. Their best can push just about anyone. We saw them play South Hobart at South Hobart and do really well. As the ball comes in, Stork just eludes his head. It's still in the mixer, though. As in the end, Undy just flicks it over the back of himself and gets it on for Lazinski. He hustles and bustles with Pearce, wins out, does well. Out onto the right-hand side, they've got numbers. It's Walter on the ball. Hall just waiting for it. He's there in acres of space. In the end, Walter looks inside, cannons it into Turner, and it's out for a throw-in.
Tell you who else was in acres of space? That was Undy in the middle there. He was screaming out for it. He was fuming when the ball didn't come his way. It was a great opportunity. And is that Watkins out there?
It does look like
Dino
Watkins is on there. We'll have to see who's come off, Drew. So I think it's Davis out of that midfield. I can't see Davis out there. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the sub that's been made. Watkins for Davis, because Dale and Turner are still out there. And the front three are. So, yeah, that's the sub. And probably one that had to be made. Obviously trying to send a message to Dean Watkins, but fair to say it hasn't worked in terms of response from the rest of his team. But might get a rise out of Watkins, as the corner from Walter's an ugly one. Doesn't beat Scott at the near post. Here's Turner now. Can he assert himself on this contest? He plays the ball for Watkins, and he's off, bursting away. All done by Schmidt to get across there. As good signs there from Watkins, though. That's what we want to see from him, those surging runs. They've been kind of absent from his game in the last few weeks, and we know what a key mover he can be. We need those bursting runs from the midfield if the Lions are threatened. Their build-up's just been so stagnant and wide. They've not had that threat centrally at all. Billy G's cut a very isolated figure in that first half, so maybe Watkins can spark them there. It'll be South Hobart taking over here, though.
Oscar Thomas on the ball. Plays back for Pearce, who hasn't even really been tested at all. It's been a couple of real tame efforts from Vidal in the first 45, but Lions would be hoping for better in this second stanza. They get it down that right-hand side to Watkins, and it's out of play and out for a throw-in. Gill Palmer throws down the line. Looking for Cohen there, who hustles and bustles, does well, finds Watkins. Back for Palmer, he tries to get it inside, and it's cut off from Walter and out of play. Another throw-in. So they look to just inch further down this right-hand flank. Throw in now, and it's Cohen. He does well in the end, just stands his ground, and it's helped out by Lewis. So throw in now for Cohen, who's slipped in. He's put it into the box. It's there for Turner, eludes him, comes through Vidal. It's a good shot, and well saved by Kane Pearce. Does well, hard down to his left-hand side. We'll see it again. Came through, it was meant for Turner. He overran it, and there was a little intervention from Kemp. Comes for Vidal at the edge of the box. Not a bad strike from Vidal. Looked like it might sneak inside that post, but Pearce was there and did terrifically well. Put it wide and out for a corner as it comes in now. Over to the head of Stork. He brings it down, and Vidal tries to spin and shoot and loses it, and it trickles out of play and out for a goal kick.
Oh, it's the Lions' best moment in the game there. It's the first time Pearce has had any meaningful work to do, and he proved he was up to the task. It was a very sharp save from him. A good effort from Vidal on the turn, facing the other way, and to curl that one towards the back post and almost snuck in, but expertly denied by Pearce. But better signs here, but at the back they're still looking a little bit rattled. The long ball came over the top, and man, it was latching onto it, didn't quite get enough of it, and falls for Duncan. But that threat back the other way has been plaguing them. When they have gone forward in this game, they've been caught out back the other way nearly every time. They've struggled, and that's a good ball from Turner, alertly getting the play moving quickly. He's now got Cohen against Thomas one-on-one, but his ball left a lot to be desired, but now falls to Palmer, and his pass was poor too, so they just wasted the opportunity there. The ball in a good area, but the service not good enough there from Cohen and Palmer. Turner starting to have a little bit more influence on this one. He plays it back for Palmer, who's got Lazinski shadowing him, and he slides in here and he wins the ball. Well done, big fella. He plays in now, man. Turning Pierce, who was surely in his back. The referee tells man to get up, though, and will repel the danger. They go back to Duncan. Man pressures him, and he launches this one along up to the head of Billy G. And he and Dogger Brown in a physical duel, and it's Billy G who's adjudged to have fouled in the process there. Pierce will get things moving quickly with a direct ball. Man, you can see what he was trying to do. Flick on there for Lazinski. Didn't quite come off, though, and Duncan hurriedly puts Lewis under a little bit of pressure there, but he's across to deal with it against Danny Cowan, who turns inside, looks for support. Plays a tough ball for Turner, who did well to bring it down and then play it to Palmer. His ball was poor, though, and well done, Alex Walter. Just cuts it out, spins away nicely. They play it out to Lewis now. He goes down the line, and Palmer, who's started brightly, anticipating the ball. Passing's been a little bit off, but he's been better this half. Here now is Undy, and Palmer again knocks that one into touch.
Might check in with the other game, Drewster. We'll give it a little refresh and see how things are going over there.
Big game, of course, between Hobart Zebras and Devonport Strikers.
It is a big game for both clubs. It's still 1-0, just fresh into the second half. So big one for Devonport. Zebras, of course, are still in the title race, so huge for them. They lose this, and you can pretty well kiss it goodbye. They need to keep winning. For Devonport, they're currently sitting 7th, which is remarkable. But given the table, they can go as high as 4th.
It's a fair old log jam, isn't it?
It is indeed, which is exciting. But Kingborough might be the one that drops to the just about the floor as the ball comes down the flank. It's Watkins who shows some creativity. It's cut off in the end by Thomas and back for Lewis. Just sees it clear, cut off by Palmer for the Lions, and there for Dale. He buzzes about, goes wide right and finds Cohen. He's been their spark early in this half. Cut off with Thomas coming across. His long gangly legs just covering the turf ever so easily. Throw in now as it's Watkins and
Kemp, I think.
Kemp, who collide out on that left flank, and in the end, Watkins with some untoward contact, so it'll be a South Hobart ball. A ball they've pretty well been able to just do whatever they like with it so far in this game. It's been far too easy as far as they're concerned. As Lazinski nods down, it's cut off by Palmer, but he can't get it past Kemp, who just gets the ball and strides forward. Out for Braden Mann. He's so dangerous. Out on that left-hand side. Looks inside. Finds Lewis. Oh, he dinks over the top magnificently. Kemp tracks it down from the byline. Puts it across, but it's straight into the arms of Duncan.
Great ball for
keeper.
Lewis.
Out from the left to Scutt. Puts it for Turner. He turns it over in the finish, and it's there with Undy. He's got Paul on short. Doesn't opt to use him. It's blocked by Turner, and he hustles and bustles. That's what he needs to do. It's good from Turner, from Vidal and Gasparinados. It's out of play for a throw-in. And it looks like another change might not be too far away for the Lions. The ball's down the left. It's Gasparinados who dinks inside. It's Walter looked to race away with it. And Scutt just came across with no nonsense attitude and just whacked it out of play. Looks like the change is coming. Palmer off, Galante on. Not sure what this is. If it's isn't an attacking sub, Drew. What's the thinking here, you think?
Yeah, Galante maybe has slight more attacking tendencies. He's really just gone like for like with fullback. I suppose Galante is the more attacking of the two, but interesting. Not sure it's going to be a big game-breaking one. I think Watkins has had an impact since coming on. The midfield's looked a lot better. Turner certainly lifted. But the big test for the Lions is, we saw this last week after half-time. They gave us about 10 minutes worth of an effort, and they completely fell away again. So they need to sustain it as South Hobart looming large again here. Walter will just pass it back. He set Schmidt a task. In the end, he's turned it over. Well read by Turner, who's a rampaging bull out there to start this half. He's looked much more like the Jack Turner we've come to know. He didn't have a lot of support in the first half, mind you. So he'll play it back for Pierce, and he'll go across to the store Cuthbertson, who's pressured by Mann. Kept it going, though. Now Dale. goes into the middle of the park where there were 4 orange shirts. It was ill-advised, and now they can look to hit him on the counter. That's a dangerous ball over the top to Mann. Will he track it down in time? He does. Flung the left boot at it, but couldn't get the necessary power to direct it towards Lazinski, as they will clear the day, as Cowan, who started this half brightly, has lost it though, and now Lazinski has it. Lazinski dinks one looking for Mann, but it's just overhit. As the throw is a nice one that picked out Vidal, but getting back there with Schmidt, and now here's Darcy Hall, who's got a bit of space opening ahead of him. He might run into that. He does, but they sandwich him. Well done, Jack Turner, and here's Vidal back the other way. He cuts inside, but it's a nice challenge, and they've turned it over again. Undy plays it across, and now they build. That's a good ball. Is it overhit? It is, so not the best. Just slightly overhit, so again, just looking to play it into those channels for Mann. It's been a good tactic all day. He's certainly got pace on the back 4 of the Lions. He's been able to outrun them all day.
Yeah, this young South Hobart midfield brigade has definitely had the honours so far in this contest. Although Jack Turner's looking more like the Jack Turner we've come to expect. He's throwing his weight around as the ball comes along and strong. One by Brown. It's there in congestion. It's one from Turner to Gasparinatos. He does that trademark little chest down and flick on, but it doesn't quite come off. It's back at the Lions' defence, and it's Pearce on the ball. Shimmies by Hall and drives long and strong down to the right-hand side. Cut off from Lewis ahead of Cohen. It's there for Galante, the substitute. What can he do? 1-2s with Turner. Does well to get past Walter, but coughs it straight up to Lazinski. They might be in strife here, Kingborough. Stork comes across just to cut off the ball. He doesn't quite kill the contest, though. Walter on the ball. He just strolls around. Very, very casual. Drops it off for Undy. He sweeps the ball in. Cut off the head of Pearce. Still live for South Hobart as Hall gets involved. He's brought down the edge of the box by Turner. Play waved on. It's Watkins on it. He looks to use the pace. He streams into the middle. He takes a metre, he takes another, and he keeps going. Barnstorming run into the box. He fires. It's saved well from Pearce. Still alive from Kingborough. Gasparinatos has it deflected out of play and out for a throw. Much more like it, Brewster.
Message received, perhaps, in Dean Watkins' case. I don't think he was particularly pleased with being left off the team sheet in the starting 11 today. He's certainly come out firing in this half, so maybe Robbins has got the response he's desired. Unfortunately, that response has come with a 4-0 deficit to close out, so it's probably not going to amount to much, but a surging run from Watkins, that's what we like to see from him. That's what he needs to do more often. He's such a game breaker when he can do that. He's been a subdued figure of recent times, but that was a really good run, and certainly got to say the Lions have looked a lot better this half. Maybe South Hobart don't quite have the impetus to really push on now. They've got a 4-goal lead, but the Lions looking better. Very much silver linings and clutching at straws here when you've played a first half like that, but it's a positive response at least. And they've got another chance here through a set piece. Whip one in, and you've got the committee over it. Who's going to take this one? Go Billy G, and he'll lay it off short for Jack Turner, who's tried to pick out Billy G with the return ball. You could see what they were planning there with that set play. Didn't quite come off though. It'll be a throw in as Scutt will take it for the Lions, and he tosses it in centrally here to Pearce, and Pearce will shift it all the way back and set a task for the man just on in Galante, whose ball was a little bit soft, and Lazinski's there to pick it off, and South Hobart will take the ball now. Lewis, the Falcons' Cowan, deflects out of play, and he'll get the throw. Say credit to Kane Pearce, didn't really have to do much in the first half. He's made 2 good stops now in the second half. It could be tough when you're a goalie and you don't get a lot of work. Your team's dominating. You've got to be alert for those couple of moments, and the 2 times he's been tested here in this half, he stood up very well as Galante plays that one out. It'll be South Hobart throw again.
That glimpse right there is what Dean Watkins can do. He had a few metres ahead of him. He made a whole lot more than that with that absolute sizzling pace. Throw now from Lewis. It comes straight to a Kingborough shirt, and Galante plays out wide for Cohen, who has looked pretty bright in passages, but he can't beat the line to it on that occasion. It runs out. So another throw in for Lewis. We are over the hour mark, Drewster. 61.5 minutes gone as it's off the head of Pearce. It's picked up by Scott, and then Kemp steals for South Hobart. Looks to get out on the left, and Galante intervenes, picks it up, kicks it into Kemp, and it trickles out of play. So they gain some yardage on this right-hand flank. They haven't been amazing in this second half, but I tell you what, they've been a hell of a lot better than they were in the first.
Yeah, damn sight better, that's for sure. At least competing now and giving South Hobart something to think about the other way. Rather than it just being backs to the wall, turn the ball over, South Hobart attack, South Hobart craft a chance. South Hobart score. It was very, very ugly. They've been a lot better in this half, Kingborough. You can take heart from that, but as I said, I want to see that sustained for the next half an hour. They can't just drop away. Really, it is unacceptable at this level. That's a good throw, though, and it's fallen into the path of Turner, who tried to wrap his boot around it, but Dogger Brown was there in the way, defending solidly as ever. A long throw, almost causing a few problems. Like it was just going to open up at the back post, but very wise and alert to the danger. And now South Hobart are attacking the other way. Lazinski lays it off for Mann. He cuts inside. He was a little bit late to play the pass there. Well, I think it was Undy bursting through. And then he couldn't find a teammate, so almost opening up there. Again, we see when the Lions commit men forward, they are very vulnerable back the other way. As Turner turns on the ball and plays it with a nice little pass central in, now flicked on to Billy G. His first touch was great, but his pass left a fair bit to be desired. It's going to flecked out though. And
it was a bit of instinct work, wasn't it, from Gasparinalis? He had no idea whether anyone was out on that side, but he just shot the ball out and hoped the best. It didn't come off on that occasion.
Took a touch though, it would seem, so they've got the throw.
It looks like there's going to be a sub, Drewster. We've got Chrissy Downs down there getting ready to come on. Throw in. Gasparinalis into the box. It's chested down from Cohen. Sits well for Turner, but is blocked by Lewis, and Pearce will race out off his line and retrieve ahead of Stork. Stork leaves a bit of contact on him. Pearce not too pleased. He strolls away. Looks to use it quick. We see that from Kane Pearce. He's always eager. They're 4-0 up. They could just sit back and have a cup of tea, but he's pretty keen, and that's the South Hobart way. They seem to really chase goals until the final minute. Looks like a substitute, as I said, Chris Downs, the halfway line. Be interested to see who makes way. Looks like Alex Walter. So they've, of course, coming back from a concussion. He's been eased back into things in recent weeks. He's put in a good shift. Now another youngster gets another crack.
Yeah, highly competitive that spot when you've got Chris Hunt also in the squad. Darcy Hall really coming in to his own on the other wing. It's a tough side to break into. He's shown plenty today, Alex Walter. Just highlights the depth that South Hobart have as the throw comes over the head of Lazinski, but picked up by Darcy Hall and dealt with in no uncertain terms by Pearce, and that'll roll out across the opposite byline, and Pearce will gather. And as you say, he's always looking to get things moving quickly, and he does so again here as he plays it across. Oscar Thomas. And he goes back to Pearce. He didn't see a lot ahead of him he likes, so he'll just launch it long to a gathering of bodies. Two Lions players collided. Now Downs will try and pass it to Lewis. It was broken up nicely there by Cullen though, and spills out of play. Lazinski, the hold-up work from him. Unsuccessful that time as the ball spill into empty space, but Duncan's first there. Yeah, Lazinski's hold-up work's been a real highlight today. In addition to his 2 goals, he's just brought other players into the game. He's done a mountain of work, won the physical battles. Dominant figure out there on the pitch as Turner lays it back to Duncan. And Duncan will go down the middle, and his best work there as this one will spill now to Hall, will it? No, getting a boot in nicely was Galante, and now Pearce launches that one long, and it's way too far ahead of Cowan. So taking a bit of the sting out of this contest, the Lions. Certainly not being played off the park as they were in the first half, which is a positive as the ball is flicked in and Billy G gives Oscar Thomas a little push and the referee says that's a foul. And then Pearce just gives him the push. Well, he was standing over the ball. I don't know what Pearce was doing there. That was a little bit unnecessary. A little bit of rascal behaviour there from Pearce. I don't know what that was all about.
Though, I tell you
Goes down very easily, doesn't he?
Oh, my Lord. That, he has just gone straight flat. He's got a little nudge and probably unnecessary from Pearce, but he's milked that for all it's worth.
He has, hasn't he?
He might have an acting career after his football one.
Yeah, strange play all round, really. Again, very keen to get play moving with a 4-0 lead. I don't know why you'd be that annoyed at the opposition, but oh well. Good fun and banter there from those lads. I don't think don't worry about that too much. As Dale wins this one back. Now Turner in an advanced position. Haven't seen a lot of him bombing up in those areas. As Scutt now looking to overlap, but he's got Schmidt for company. He lays it back for Turner. It was a poor pass though. It's picked off by Braden Mann, and he looks up and doesn't see a lot. He saw Hall, and he might get there before Galante because his touch was poor. He does. Now can they build down this left-hand side? The body's starting to flow forward for South Hobart. That'll deflect into the hands of Duncan though he's made to earn it. Flying in hard there was Mann, I think.
Yeah,
He's
Mann,
down on the ground.
Down, hasn't he? As Turner, his play unfolds. Turner to Cuthbertson, and he plays out beyond halfway. It's picked up from Cohen and flicked on inside, looking for Gasparinalis. Get by him, and it's to Watkins. Runs inside of one, beats Downs, can't beat Brown as Brown brings him down and is shown a customary slice of cheese. As we've said a lot of times, Brown must have shares in them because
he's a connoisseur of the cheese.
He loves a fine slice of ched.
Yeah, big fan. Again, we see the value of Dean Watkins slicing through the middle. He's been a lively customer since coming on. And just wonder, whilst clearly Robbins felt he needed to be sent a message, they might have been better off starting him. He's certainly had an impact since coming on. And I think this time we'll see Cohen going the more direct option. We know he can curl them. And I'd expect this one to be a shot. What can Danny Cohen do? 4 men in the wall. They just try and creep a little bit extra. So here's Danny Cohen straight into the wall. Rebound. And it will be cleared by South Hobart. So the danger averted. Under no real pressure there is Galante. So he can just play it back to Duncan. Here's Turner dropping deep. Oh, it was a poor pass for Galante, but it wasn't a very good touch there from Downs. And the danger is avoided. That was looking like they had the numbers forward there. They're outnumbering him, South Hobart. So Downs touch just laying him down. That was well read by Vidal, but his shoulder has gone dangerously back the other way. And some good physical work by the Stalk Cuthbertson on Lazinski there. Just shepherding him off the ball there and allowing Duncan to receive. Galante plays it forward, looking for Watkins, but he's quick. He's not that quick though. And Pearce in the end tried to let it roll out, but the ball died, so he just clears it. Safety first. And the Lions will get the throw in a good area. Might be another chance for Billy G to launch one, but he's at the top of the box at the moment, so I don't think we'll be seeing that. The cross comes in instead, and it's headed clear by Thomas. Dale now goes across. And that's some nice work by Danny Cohen there. Can he find a pass? No, Lewis did well to deal with him, but Watkins now in space. He plays it first time. It's a good ball. It's headed by Vidal, but didn't get much purchase on it. Well defended, and in the end, it falls out of play for a goal kick. Turner couldn't make anything happen there.
Yeah, but better again from the Lions. They're in the contest, which is not what you could say for the first half. 71 minutes gone now as Pearce takes his goal kick short and wide, finds Oscar Thomas. Calling for options is Thomas. Plays inside in the finish and back to his gloveman. He's always pretty comfortable on the ball at the edge of the box. Back for Thomas. Ahead it goes. They ran out of ideas in the finish there, South Hobart. So decent work from Kingborough defensively. Galante chested down, meant for Cohen. Won by Thomas. In midfield it goes, and Turner comes in. It's a vicious coming together. It comes out through Lazinski. He drives forward looking for a haul on the right. It's cut off well. And Turner fires wide. Finds Galante maybe a little over-ambitious to dink inside of Lazinski, and Lazinski just helped it straight out of play.
I love that he still put his hand up for the throw, though. I will always admire that about a number of the players in the comp. They just blatantly boot it out and then put their hand up and try anyway. Got to admire the audacity.
It's Watkins on the ball now. He hustles and bustles with Kemp. Kemp wins out. Now he's got Pearce in his sights. He takes the ball off the defender and looks back inside and forces it out of play for a throw-in. Good bit of work from Kemp.
Did really well there. He never looked favoured to come out on top there. Always seemed to be favouring the Lions, man. But Kemp fought hard, won the battle, and he's got his side to throw in a dangerous area. Lewis looks like he's going to be the man to bomb up and take it. Lazinski will be the probable target, you think. Although he's got 2 men on him. Man in there as well. Lewis instead goes, and they'll look to work the cross. It's now played in towards Mann, angled his body, and the falls to Kemp. But he put it well over the top and never looked like threatening there. A few occasions today where South Hobart have just blazed a little high. That was a pretty tough chance, though, off balance, bobbling up in the air. If he had scored, it would have been a wonder goal.
Tell you what, Drewster, it's dropped a few degrees here down at the den. We arrived here, it was a sunny and nice afternoon, and it's very, very chilly right now.
As soon as that sun goes, you can feel the bitterness. It is still winter, that's for sure. Certainly not as bad as the last time these two sides played, however.
Yeah, that's very true. As Watkins picks up the ball, he's been energetic since coming on. Plays forward looking for Vidal.
Offside.
And he is offside. So it thwarts a promising Kingborough attack. Dean Watkins has been a real live wire since coming off the bench, showing his value and maybe showing a response to the challenge that's been placed on him from coach Colin Robbins. Played in the twos before this and had to sit on the bench before coming on at half-time, and since then he's been very valuable for this Kimber Lions brigade. They're throwing now from Galante, looking for Cohen. It's been industrious. Back for Galante, sweeps across, at the edge of the box is met by Schmidt. He cannons into Gasparinados and comes back for Kingborough in their defence. They should be able to clean this one up. And then they do. Not the most convincing defensive work, but it comes to Turner in midfield. He plays forward for Gasparinados, keen to flick on as he always is. In the end, he switches up terrifically. Finds Galante in space, uses it well, dinks forward for Cohen. Whips in across, it's met with a head from Oscar Thomas. Got down low and hard and saw it out. And clearance from Undy is a miss-hit one and picked up by Scutt, who finds Gasparinados. He collects Undy with a bit of a meaty challenge. Play goes on though, and it's back in this Kingborough defence again. Scutt with a desperate effort to see it away from Lazinski, but it comes back straight away, and it's with Mann. Plays inside for Kemp. He spins, beats one. He's got Turner coming across to provide pressure. Muscles him out of it, does Turner. Does really, really well. Good defensive work from the midfielder. Forward now for Cohen. Options inside if he wants them in Dale and Watkins. He opts to take it on himself, and in the end he was just smothered by 3 South Hobart shirts, and it's out of play.
Again, much better though from the Lions in South Hobart. Haven't quite looked as decisive with their passing. Their passing's gone a little bit off the boil, and there's been a bit of just whacking into touch from them, which we didn't really see in the first half. Pretty much everything they tried came off. But I don't know if that's a result of them taking the foot off the pedal or just a real rise in intensity from the Lions. Probably a bit of both, truth be told. The Lions have responded, but it certainly hasn't been the intensity in South Hobart's play that we saw in the first 45.
Looks like another sub maybe, potentially for South Hobart. Who we got down there? I think that might be Jacob Brennan. Brennan, a name that is often linked with South Hobart, but it's usually a different Brennan. Andy Brennan, of course, who's now at the Newcastle Jets, but Jacob Brennan, a youngster, as I said, he crossed from the Zebras in the off-season and gets a good taste of Victory League football with about 15 to run in this contest.
Yeah, good chance to give him a run out. Really, the second half has been perfect for that, for trialling some new things. The game was over. It was won. Great chance to experiment a little bit in the game as Vidal is still down here and motioning to the Lions bench, so we hope he's all right. He looks a little bit worse for wear there, Vidal.
Must admit, I didn't see the challenge, Drewster. I'm not sure what went on there.
Yeah, he's getting up now. Very gingerly, but I think he'll be all right. He can put weight on it, so can't be too serious.
So, in the meantime, Darcy Hall's come off for Jake Brennan. As I said, a good opportunity for the youngster to make his mark. And it's a tough 11 to get into, but if you can make an impact off the bench, you're every chance.
Good shift today from Darcy Hall, so you got to say. He was electrifying early in that first half. Running at defenders, tearing apart. First 20 minutes of the game, I don't think he got beaten once. You just kept waltzing past them. Faded as the game wore on, but another very impressive shift from the youngster, who's really just cementing his spot in this starting 11. And certainly with the likes of Hunt and Walter, who can also play on the wings, it does make it hyper competitive, and you've got to keep producing the goods or you'll find yourself on the bench as man turns with this one. He runs at the store, Cuthbertson, but nice work getting across to cover there and see it out of danger was Watkins tracking back defensively there. South Hobart with the throw here. Lewis.
Looks like Hedges warming up, Drewster. I'm not sure what sort of change that's going to be. But as the play unfolds, it goes forward for Lazinski, drops it down, and it's Lewis who puts a ball into the box, but no South Hobart shirts there to track it down. Forward now from Duncan to Turner. He loses it to Schmidt. Brennan has his first real involvement. Back for Undy. He's offering down this left-hand side. A man gives him some silver surface. He breaches the box, but his ball meant for Lazinski. He's cut off by Stork. Picks it up again, goes to Man. He sells some candy, puts it into the box. Stork again defiant with a header. There for Brown. He beats Gasparinados too, and he's collected in the process, and it'll be a foul against Big Billy G, who's cut a pretty frustrated figure up top for the Lions today. He hasn't had the service, and it's fair to say he's left a bit in a few challenges. That one just a shove.
Yep, and like Billy G, oh, hang on. There's a bit going on between those two still. Brown and Billy G. I can imagine there'll be quite a bit being set off the ball between those two. It's been a good battle. Certainly points have got to go to Brown on this occasion though. So the set piece for South Hobart, they've got plenty of men. Man first to it, nods home. But he's offside. And he's not pleased, to say the least, with that. And meanwhile, Brown is getting after some antics in the box there. Just being a bit of a pest down there. But Braden, man, it was a clinical header. Beautifully put away, but the offside flag was raised. I think it was Downs who played the ball in.
Downs who swung it in. It was a nice ball, wasn't it? As the ball comes forward now through Wendy. And it will be collected from Duncan at the edge of the box. Man, filthy with it, but I've never seen him happy or expect an offside. He's never been offside in his life.
He's a typical striker. They're never offside. Like a top order batsman never being LBW, a striker will never believe they're offside. As we will have a look at the replay. It was a beautiful ball from Downs, and well, he certainly had plenty of space, so he either timed his run brilliantly or he was indeed offside. We'll not got the best angle for that one. It was a brilliant header though. He beat Duncan to the ball and put it away. As you're seeing a man getting a slice of cheese of South Hobart. Not sure who it was, but a free kick will be taken by Dale, and he launches that one into Billy G, who laid it off to no one in particular. Stork Cuthbertson has an eternity to play a very dicey ball for Dale, who in the end made it work. He goes to Scutt. Scutt goes back to Pearce. Lazinski pressuring. Plays the diagonal ball, but he's going to dissect both Vidal and Galante. It was a poor pass, really. He had two men to aim for, and he successfully picked the gap between the both of them. Ten minutes to go down here at the Den. A pretty tough day for the Lions. They've been better in the second half, but it's not going to erase that first 45 and the 4-0 lead South Hobart ran up on them. There's been a lot of action in the second half as a ball was played there by Undy, looking to play in Brennan. Couldn't quite get in though, as Stork Captain almost found himself into some trouble there, but man is adjudged to have fouled, and I think that was the right call as the Lions get the relief. Another sub being readied here by both teams, I think, by the looks of it. As we see South Hobart shifting it forward. This is nice work. Will man be able to get through? Not quite. Stork and Pearce did just about enough to put him off, and Duncan will quickly get things moving and launch it long for Billy G, who's got some separation from Lewis. He doesn't have separation from big Oscar Thomas, though. He gets across and nods it out of play. But Billy G will quickly launch the throw in. It's a good one to Turner, who'd snuck forward, tried the volley. He wants a penalty. He felt he was fouled in the process, and Brown lifts him up and says, no,
Brown picks
let's
him
get
up,
it out of here.
dusts him off and goes on your way.
Does he have a shout? We see here.
No,
I don't think so. It was Downs, rather. It was the man on him.
He kicked himself. He literally clicked the heels there, did Turner. Two substitutes, one for either side looking to happen. It's Cohen, who's off for Hinkley. Cohen's put in a good shift, probably one of the only Lions players you can say can really hold their heads high, and it looks like Lewis is going to be put on ice and Liam Quayle introduced.
Yeah, give a younger fullback a few minutes there. The end of the game. Quayle, who of course started the season in the starting 11, but he and Schmidt have kind of been in and out, replacing each other, highly competitive. Lewis pretty settled in one of those spots with a bit of a defensive dilemma. Ludford obviously out for a while, but when he comes back, he's going to give Kenny Morton a few selection headaches, I think. It's going to be hard to drop Oscar Thomas. Dogger Brown's been very stellar himself, as Watkins lobs this one to the back post, and Pearce tracked it nicely and gathered it safely. Vidal was waiting there if he faltered. He didn't know. As just set him a bit of a task. Well recovered, and that's going to be a foul, I think, on Dogger Brown. Was given a little bit afters, but play on, says the referee. Here's Galante now. He drives from long range. It was on target. He was never going to beat Pearce from that distance. He tracked it the whole way. He made very nice contact. It was from all of 40 yards. And now here's Downs back the other way for South Hobart. Now look to move it forward. Lazinski, his target, but seen out of play by Galante. Quayle, man, tried to lay it off for him, but didn't get enough on it. I'll turn it over though, and now Braden Mann, who sees it open up ahead of him, and he cuts around a couple. The numbers went out, but falls to Brennan at the back post. And a youngster had a chance there, but he put it over the top. Some lovely work from Braden Mann. Just drew all the defenders to him, which left Brennan in acres of space. And he's done pretty well to make such good contact with that. It took a bit of a bobble. He certainly wasn't lying flat on the turf. He got plenty of it, but a bit too much in the end. Put it over the bar. Which I suppose if there's one flaw in South Hobart's game today, it's been a little bit of their shooting at times. They've blazed over the bar a few times, but when you're up 4-0, it really is nitpicking. As Thomas sees that one safely out of play.
Yeah, you're right, Drewster. You're really nitpicking there. You're grasping at straws, that's for sure. You're grasping at straws because it's been a pretty comprehensive win from South Hobart, but I'll give Kingborough a little bit of credit. They've been better in this second half. Although they haven't been able to get anything meaningful in the contest, they've been in the contest, which is not what we could have said about the first stanza. They were pretty ordinary throughout. No winners across the pitch. I think Dean Watkins has given them plenty, and I'd hope to see him stay in the starting 11 from here on out because he's too important to their play. As Thomas and Pearce played around with each other. Pearce hurriedly gets it on the boot. It's forward as won by Quayle and swept in by Lazinski. Undy runs onto it and plays out wide for Brennan. Another opportunity for the youngster, cuts back for Downs, and it just eludes his head. He's still alive as Kingborough look to scurry it clear. And in the end, Lazinski puts on pressure to force a corner.
Just overhit it there, the young fella Brennan. It opened up. It was some beautiful build-up play. He just needed to roll that one. I think he saw Turner sliding in there, and the corner, he's flicked behind. There'll be another one. It was just overhit. Just need to keep it a little bit lower. Downs had made the perfect run. It was beautiful build-up play from South Hobart. so very close, and get another corner here. It's going to be Downs to take it. Just a few minutes left here. South Hobart pushing for the 5th, and Downs teases one of the back post. It goes over a sea of heads, and Turner gets a bit on it. Danger's not repelled though, because Quayle gets it, and in the end, rather wastefully, just puts the cross over the top. And no real threat there. Duncan will take the goal kick. Yeah, the Lions, they'll be happy with the second half, I think, but it's not going to erase that first 45. They were downright disappointing. And South Hobart, well, now they look ahead, and they'll certainly be hoping that Lonnie City can continue their giant slaying form, the upsets they've produced over the last couple of weeks. They've certainly got a tough task going to Warrior Park to play Olympia tomorrow. And without Duffy, and against the team coming off 14 goals, it might be a tough one for them, but certainly Souths have kept themselves in striking distance with another win today as they look to find a 5th here. Have we got an update from Zebras Devonport, by the way, Damian, as the ball's crossed in and Turnell head clear, and
just
Billy
checking
G
exactly that. Drewster
lays it off here, and Scut will clear. It's not terribly convincingly. They're still under pressure. Galante should beat man to the ball, though. He does, and he's done well. He's got some pace. Can they go back the other way now? There's not a lot of movement ahead of him. I think they're a pretty tired bunch out there, the Lions. I think they're looking forward to the final whistle. They've done well to keep a hold of the ball here, though, as Galante chips it for Vidal, who's in behind here. His cross had exactly 0 players in the box to pick out, though, and South Hobart easily repel that. So I think the legs are dead here for the Lions players. They've just about had enough. Not the lung-busting runs into the box that we saw earlier in this half, and certainly on par with the effort you could say they put out there in the first 45, as Brennan is beaten in the air by Scup.
Drewster, sorry to interrupt. Update from a cross at KG5. Good news for Zebras fans. They're up 2-1 over Devonport. So good news for the Zebras and their title tilt. It's out on the right now. Galante fires into the box. It was a cross, but looked more like a shot than a finish, but easily gathered by Pearce, and he rolls out. Kingborough looked out of legs and pretty flat, must be said, as it's Undy who just plays with them and then plays forward. Brown to, we got the Schmidt. In the end, Brown does well, beats one, plays inside, man, hustle and bustling still. It's won by Dale to Turner. Forward now for Hinkley. He switches up. Galante's got all sorts of space out on that right-hand side. Plays to the top of the box, nobody home. A shocker from Galante. Kingborough win back through Dale. He finds his countryman in Galante. Maybe he can do better with this one. Inside, finds Dale. No real options offering forward. He has to go back, but he delivers straight to Lazinski. The big forward picks it up, plays forward for Brennan. He dinks over the top. It's Silver service for man. Touches down, gets by the sprawling Duncan and fires into the vacant net. Goal time, South Hobart. Cherry on top here at Lions Den. Dominant stuff from the reigning champions. Kingborough all at sea there. Nothing they could do.
Yeah, some tight legs, and man, getting him behind. It was a beautiful pass to pick him out, and then he did the rest. Pure class from Braden Man. Look at that first touch. Just brings it down. Another touch to get around the keeper. Steadies, assesses he's got 3 men blocking the goals. Finds the gap, dissects it. 5-0, caps off an excellent performance from Braden Man. And he has not stopped working. There's some tired players out there.
Just as that goal summed up South Hobart's performance, that kick-off summed up Kingborough's. A shocker straight out of play. Zinski on the ball now, slips in, looking for man. Trying to get a hat-trick. 2 in his book. And I think he's level now with McEwen at the top of the tree. McEwen striking 1 at KG5, so golden boot race.
Still got an extra game against Knights, though, doesn't he? Which seems to be quite decisive in the golden boot race at this stage.
That is true. As Turner picks up in midfield, takes a heavy touch and keeps on running. Good stuff here from Turner late on in the piece. He's got a few South Hobart players to deal with, though, and Schmidt's one of them and wins out. And it's all over down here at the Den. A comprehensive victory for South Hobart. They came here and looked for the win, and that's what they got. Kingborough were looking for a response from a Lackaseljet Cup defeat and a torrid performance last week up against Zebras. They didn't get the response they wanted, and they didn't get the 3 points they wanted. Now they're in jeopardy of falling down to 7th position. Kingborough Lions continue that Jekyll and Hyde run we've come used to in 2015. They've got to search for answers on why their best, the gap between their best and their worst is so significant.
Yeah, at first, 45 was diabolical from them. They were completely outclassed. South Hobart had the job done. Lions, yeah, they can be happy with the second half, but at the end of the day, you can't just forget that first half, which was all South Hobart. It was one-way traffic, one of the more dominant displays they've put in this year. They'll be very pleased. They've, at the end of the day, got themselves 3 pretty easy points today. They were never seriously challenged out there. They were clinical. They're starting to look back to their best after a slightly rocky patch there mid-season. Lazinski back has just been a huge factor. He just adds that extra dimension. Suddenly you can't put all your attention into Braden Mann. Your centre-backs have got to be looking out for Big Albie. He's been a huge factor. And 5-0, a just result today. They could have won by more. They'll be the happy side heading home tonight. And it's over to you, Olympia, I suppose, in the title race. It looks like the Zebras have got the job done. We'll wait and get the final result there. Looks like they'll get the job done. South will get the job done and keep up the pressure in this title race. It was a dominant display from South Hobart. They had winners across the park. Man, Lazinski outstanding up top. Kemp, brilliant pulling strings in midfield. Undy likewise. Darcy Hall and Walter down the flanks. And the defence, well, was scarcely tested all day. Pearce back in goals. Didn't have to do a lot. He had 2 saves to make. He made them both well. For the Lions, Cohen, yeah, he showed a little bit. Watkins, when he came on, he was electric. Probably got the response I would have wanted as we go through the goals. Braden Mann started proceedings with that clinical finish, just thumping home from the edge of the area. That would set the tone for the rest of the day. It was all downhill there from the Lions, and it just got better as far as South Hobart were concerned. They were fantastic. So we have a look at the rest of them. Here is that man Kemp. He was outstanding. That is just an inch perfect ball outside of the boot. Lazinski was there, clinical as ever. That was the first of a brace for big Lazinski. He was a real factor today in all the good moves they had. That made it 2-0, and really, they looked pretty dispirited. The game looked just about done at that stage, to be honest. And then moments later, it was 3-0. It wasn't the most well-hit effort from Kemp, but found its way through a sea of legs. Takes just that little touch off the stalk Cuthbertson, which was enough to deceive Duncan, who was down. And that made it 3. Then the combination again. Kemp just plays it through for Lazinski, who made the perfect run. Chest down and goal. That is a great striker's finish, that one. Clinical work from him. Kemp again, so central to everything they did. And then right at the end, we see this from Mann, the silky touch. Then he just takes another touch to get around the keeper, assesses the options, and just buries this one with aplomb. 5-0 South Hobart, a 5-star performance, a dominant display. They've stamped themselves right back on this title race. That is just pure class from Braden Mann, and it sums up the day, really.
Silky stuff from Braden Mann and South Hobart all together. A disappointing day for Kingborough Lions. They set themselves a big task today. They wanted to come and take points off South Hobart. They couldn't. The pressure now goes back on Olympia, who take on, I guess, the competition surprise pack at the Real Bolters, Launceston City, tomorrow at Warrior Park from 3 p.m. Join us then as we bring you all the action live on sliceofcheese.net. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Bye for now.